This port that belongs to us will be leased under a partnership deal. We will receive the money now. There won't be any problem to pay for the Hambantota port in another 6 months. We will receive a check of $300 million under the first phase. Sri Lanka will receive the money. Although the Prime Minister made this statement on the 9th of December 2017 while making the agreement to hand over the Hambantota port to a Chinese company, what really happened to it? According to a report published on the Sunday Times last weekend, the loan for the Hambantota port was simply transferred from the accounts of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority to the Treasury. Although the loan obtained for the construction of the Hambantota port was due to be absorbed in exchange for shares by a Chinese company named CM Port, that had not happened. The government has been continuously paying the loan and its premium from 2014. In the end, Sri Lanka lost control over the Hambantota port and currently receives no assistance in settling the massive loan obtained for its construction.
So the point is, and there are more crimes behind this for us. We lost a port for 99 years. For what? $1,200, $300 million. Now what do you say about the light rail system? $1,800 million. Now we are getting another loan. A country which sells a port saying that we cannot.
The debt burden during the years from 2005 to 2014 had gone up to 233%. Honestly speaking, Mahinda Rajapaksa had left us with a debt mountain even higher than the Mithotamulla garbage dump. Sri Lanka needs 3.2 trillion rupees to pay off the foreign debts. From that, we are spending 82% to pay off debts that were taken during Mahinda Rajapaksa's regime. According to the financial statement in 2005, the country's total debt was 2,142 billion rupees. When Mahinda Rajapaksa was defeated in 2014, the debt had risen to 6,721 billion rupees. During these 10 years, the country's debt increased by 4,579 billion rupees. After the government change in 2015, the debt had increased to 7,830 billion rupees. And as at the 31st of December 2018, the country's debt had hit 11,994 billion rupees. The increase during the past 4-year period was 4,164 billion rupees. Although the initial loans were paid off, these figures are evident that more loans had been obtained to pay off these liabilities. In the end, no matter who governs the country, the people are taken down a dark abyss of never-ending debt, making the people forever debtors.
We just laid the foundation stone for a refinery, which is basically Indian owned, and a cement plant and LNG plant which are Sri Lankan owned. So we certainly have not found any difficulties, and we find that we've taken it complimentary, but we finally want this to become the hub of the Indian Ocean.
Although preparations are being made to establish Sri Lanka as the hub of the Indian Ocean, is this really happening? While the government bragged about a massive investment in the form of a vehicle assembly plant by Volkswagen, the company itself rejected the fact that any such investments were even being contemplated. Another example of the reality of the situation are the attempts made to claim that the tallest building in Asia will be constructed in Colombo. Projects to provide Wi-Fi to the entire country via a Google Loon project are still only a dream. Recently, the government claimed that Oman will be investing in an oil refinery project in Hambantota. This claim was rejected by the Omani government. It has been revealed that an infamous Indian businessman and politician named S. Jagat Rakshigan is the man behind the project. This Indian politician has stated that he has resigned from the company and his wife has not purchased any shares of the company. Transparency International warned that this sort of investment could increase the risk of money laundering in Sri Lanka from bad to worse. Instead of providing a reliable response to these issues, the government has now resorted to making claims that a second oil refinery will be constructed in Hambantota. The company said to be investing $14 billion for the second oil refinery, Sugi Energy International, is a company that was named in the Panama Papers. Is Sri Lanka going to be transformed into the hub of the Indian Ocean through such projects? We will work with dedication to provide electricity for 24 hours. If not for an emergency situation like a tsunami, electricity will be provided for 24 hours. The public are experiencing first-hand the effects of the government's failure to deliver on this promise. The government had failed to construct any power plant during the course of the last 4 years. All the people who were saying that the rupee is crumbling down, please give a headline to this tonight. The Sri Lankan rupee is among the 3 best performing currencies in the world. This does not mean that the rupee will continue to strengthen against the dollar. For the rupee to strengthen continuously against the dollar, our exports should increase. Also, there should be an increase in foreign direct investment. The rupee has temporarily strengthened against the dollar due to the fluctuation in the foreign exchange. About 70% of the foreign exchange that comes into the country is through expatriates. So that means if the rupee is to further strengthen, more people from our country should go for employment overseas and send dollars into the country. But nothing like that has happened. Instead of that, there is a crisis in the industrial sector. A large number of people have lost their jobs. The finance minister of the country, Mangala Samaravira, may not be an expert on economics. He may be an expert in his line of work, be it modeling or something else. But as far as his statements on the economy and the management of the country goes, what knowledge does he use to make these statements?
But is the economy about to collapse? Growth is low, but it is getting higher. The inflation is well within target. Inflation is okay. So where is this economy collapse?
Despite the central bank governor's statement, what is the present situation of the country's economy? Print media reported today that the World Bank expects Sri Lanka's growth rate to reduce to 3.5% from the expected growth rate of 4%. The economic growth rate for last year, which was forecast at 3.9%, ended with a growth rate of 3.2%. Meanwhile, the Committee on Public Accounts informed Parliament that the figures presented by the government on the growth rate of the economy are contradictory. Lies, lies, lies.
We are affected. Not only us. If we are affected, that's fine because we are responsible. Electing these kind of lot of idiots to govern us. But the crime is the unborn grandchildren of our generations are going to suffer. Not only us, because most of these loans are coming due for payment maybe in 30-40 years from now. There is a generation which is yet unborn and they are not even taking part in the decision making process.